I hope you guys are ready for another creation. Our school theme is camping, so I've decided on this wall here I'm going to be creating like a whole mountain mural. I kind of got this idea from some nurseries that I had seen on Pinterest, so now I'm going to hope to bring it to life on this lovely blank canvas I have here. So here goes nothing. Hey guys, okay, so today I'm going to be making my mural in my classroom for my back wall. I'm going to be doing a bunch of mountains, so I'm going to be doing 3 different colors to kind of like offset one another. So I'm going to be doing like a sky blue, I have this really pretty like elephant gray, and then I'm going to do white. And I'm just kind of hoping it'll like break up the wall a little bit, and these colors are also like our school colors. And then I'm going to put like a yellow sun behind it, so I'm hoping it'll help it pop. And I just really want to like brighten up the room. It's a portable, so it's just very like dull and it just needs some life. So let's hope I can bring some to it. Okay, so some of you might be wondering why I'm not using my school's paper and why I went and bought some. Here in Vegas, we can buy our bulletin board paper at a number of different places. We're kind of lucky like that. Lakeshore is also like one of my favorites, but a new one is like Hobby Lobby because they are literally like 2 minutes from my school and they have all my favorite colors and special ones too. And the reason I do that is just, even though it's like money out of my pocket, the paper's like fadeless and it holds up like really well over time. Like I could put a board up and legit by the end of the year I could probably still leave it up if I wanted to. Even though I always change the theme anyway, it is nice so that like if I just ever needed that as an option, like I could. So my gray and my blue are both from there, and the white, we're just using the school white because why not? First step is to create the mountains. I'm literally just making giant triangles and then cutting them out. Now it's time to make half a circle for a sun. Okay, so
that was on you.
Yeah. Okay, so whenever I'm building a mural like this, the first thing I do is I start by cutting out all of the pieces. So I've cut out my sun, and that's going to be what I center everything around. So the sun is the key. And then I cut out all of my mountains. So now it's just time to put it all up. So if I were to suggest to you anything, I would be to make sure you have some type of centerpiece that you could build the whole thing off of. And then I like to start from the top of it to the bottom, which you'll see. You can see I have like a lot of spots that I need to fill, so all your scraps are super useful. I just cut this one from another scrap, so use your scraps to help you make those fillers. When you are going to get your paper, what you want to do is, I have grabbed 2 pieces of it, and I grabbed 2 because I know I'm going to need like more than 1 layer, or I like to do kind of like 2 layers, like one on the top and one on the bottom for the grass. So that's why I grabbed 2 pieces of paper, because I want to make sure that I have enough for like the whole bottom of mountains. And then what I do is, instead of like tracing and then cutting out like a million times, all I do is, once I have these 2 like layered on top, and it doesn't need to be perfect because it's grass and you kind of want it to have like its own unique look compared to like each piece. I kind of take the bulletin board paper then, and I'm going to fold it into thirds. And I do that because since I have a double, once I fold it into thirds, I'll then have like 6 different layers of the grass that I could use, which is really cool. Next it comes to drawing the grass. So I like to use the straight edge at the bottom as like what I'm going to go off of. And you want to give a good like 6 or 7 inches from the bottom, just so that if you're doing more than 1 layer, you want to make sure that you're covering the space that you're trying to. And then all I do, like I don't do anything, I just make these crazy, like they almost look like waves. But I just go back and forth. I'll make some weird ones. And you can see I just like totally freestyle it. I don't try to make it look perfect because it's grass. So you do want it to have some type of like realness look to it. So I literally just go through the whole entire side from one to the other and go all the way through. And then now I'm gonna go ahead and cut. All right, grass is all cut. So now that you could see, since I had doubled it, I kind of have like this flap here. So what I gotta do, some of it is already like all cut, but then there's some pieces that you could see I have this crease here in the middle of the side. So I'm just gonna line these up now and I'm gonna cut through so that then I can separate those pieces. Okay, so if you look at my wall here, you can see that when I made the mountain, I left this like awkwardness when I stapled it. And that's where the grass is gonna come in. So I remember what I said, I'm gonna be doing 2 layers of grass. And this will help me be able to like cover up this awkwardness, and then it'll kind of just add something to it at the bottom. And I'm gonna do 2 layers. So the first layer I don't want it to go all the way to the bottom because that's where my other layer is gonna come in. And I like to staple it to where I'm not stapling these pieces, so that this way it adds this kind of like frilled look. And then my next layer when I add it, it's gonna be like right under it, and that one will cover that awkwardness. Yay! And you can see over here, I like had way more grass than I needed, but I always feel like it's better to have more than what you need than to be like in the middle of your craft to be scrambling to make more. So always be over prepared than anything. Next, it's time to put up my quote and the letters. So you can see they're like laid here on the floor. What I'm gonna do is like spread out the quote on the floor and then kind of staple it up as I have it centered on the floor first. And I center it on the floor first only because then I could kind of visualize what it would look like up on the board itself. And then I could kind of place them accordingly so that this way I'm not stapling all of my letters a million times because I still do it old school. Okay, so I always lay my biggest word out first on the floor, and then you can see I directly align it to like the center of the board that I'm making. So my center is my sun, and you can see I've like pretty much centered my words around it. And I'll always, when I staple, I'm gonna staple with the middle of mountains first. So there you go, you can see there's the quote on the floor and centered with my sun. And so when I go to staple it now, it's literally gonna just be popped right up. I love it. I think I'm gonna add like maybe some like trees on the side. We'll see. But I hope you love it. Feel free to recreate. Tag me in your pictures if you do. I can't wait to see them. Thanks for joining me. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.